Daryl, thank you. We are being recorded. So again, calling the meeting to order at 10:03. Thank you everybody for being here, and we'll get going. Just as a reminder, please go into the chat. Daryl has placed the link for the sign in. If you haven't signed in already to the meeting, please do so. So we will start with the call to order. Daryl?
Okay, doing the roll call for CCI, Scott James, Tina Powell, Julie Nelson, or Allison Thunison. I think I saw Allison on.
Yep, Allison's in attendance.
Thank you. CML, Owen Brigner. Nothing heard. Accessibility, Sadie Martinez. Nothing heard. At large, Michael Berry or Trina Doomer, and I believe I saw at least Trina on.
Michael is also here.
Thank you, Michael. For BESP, Tressa Carter or Tim Kunkelman? Tressa or Tim, are you in attendance? Do not see them. Okay. Ryan Sargassi for Intrado.
I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Good morning.
Jeff Winkleman for Lumen.
President accounted for.
Thank you, Jeff. Jason Hendricks for Range.
Here.
Thank you, Jason. Jenny Santana for T-Mobile. Jenny Santana. Nothing heard. Ryan Hoke or Mary Brown.
Yes, sir. We're both here today.
Thank you. And by the way, I'm filling in for someone else. If I mispronounce anyone's name, it's not my fault. For CLEC and VoIP, Cindy Harkoff, Tina Medavere, or Josh Hemingway for Cinch. Cindy, Tina, or Josh for Cinch. Nothing heard. Jay Slater or Erica Stevens for Bandwidth.
Jay Slater is here.
Thank you, Jay. I believe I saw Jody Chin.
I'm here. Good morning.
For Gunnison. Good morning, Jody. Kim Zimmerman for State Patrol.
I'm here.
Thank you, Kim. Cindy Castile, Matt Allen, or Sean Kinniston for Grand Junction.
Cindy's here.
Thank you, Sydney. Cindy, rather. Kimberly Culp, I believe I saw you on for Lita.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Jackie Reynolds for AdCom.
I'm here.
Thank you, Jackie. Beth Dobransky for Eagle. Or Zach Sheets or Jackie Marie Louise for Eagle.
I'm here.
Thank you, Jackie. Valicia Librand, Caitlin Gockley, or Paula Nall for Sterling.
Valicia Librand is here.
Thank you, Valicia. Jeff Irvin for JCECA.
Jeff Irvin's present.
Thank you. Renee Henshaw, Matt Towell for El Paso Teller.
Renee's here.
Thank you, Renee. Deanie Shin for Douglas County.
Good morning.
Morning. Andrew Dameron or Jody Slate for Denver.
Jody Slate's here.
Thank you, Jody. Kyle Mickelson or Kevin Biegert.
Kyle's here. Good morning.
Good morning. Tina Bonetta or Scott Newman for Aurora.
Good morning.
Good morning. Kathy Rayleigh, I know, is here. Matt Gaich or Alex Wall for Metza.
This is Matt. Good morning.
Hi, Matt. Carl Stevens, I saw on here for Garco. Brad Riggin or Christy Mason for Longmont, for Boulder.
Brad's here. Good morning.
Thank you, Brad. All right, we have a high quorum. We've got 83% of voting members in attendance.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. So the first order of business is the approval of the May 14, 2026 minutes.
This is Carl Stevens. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I saw no corrections.
Thank you, Carl.
Michael Berry
Second.
seconds.
I heard a couple. I heard Michael Berry first. So Michael seconded. Any discussion? And anyone opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. Thank you very much. We do have a couple of presentations this morning. I want to make sure I haven't had a chance to check. Is Joe Schreiner and Jeff Fitzgerald on?
Joe Schreiner, yes, I'm here.
Yes, and so is Jeff. So they have a presentation, Community College of Denver Emergency Dispatch Certificate. So do you have, you need control to share?
No, this is more
no?
just an information session.
Okay.
Getting some stuff out there so that we can start to maybe work on some partnerships and build some relationships.
Sounds good. I give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. So my name is Dr. Joe Schreiner, and I am the Dean of Social and Behavioral Science and Public Safety and Legal Services at the Community College of Denver. A little bit about me. I come from a background in law enforcement, about 15 years. Some of the people I know from Gunnison and some time that I spent in Vail, so I recognize some of the names here. So first thing I want to say is thank you all very much for doing what you do, because I know coming from a law enforcement background, every once in a while we would sit down in the dispatch center, right? We never tried to do that regularly, but seeing all the work that y'all do, just want to say thank you for that, because we couldn't do our job without you all. So the reason why I'm here today is we have started to explore some options with certificates in the academic world in the field of emergency dispatch. We are currently working with Jeff Com about basically allowing the individuals who graduate from the academic piece and the FTO piece of dispatch to earn a certificate from the Community College of Denver. So this covers about 16 to 17 credit hours worth of classes, and we award this certificate. The cool part on our end is that we work with you to make sure our curriculum aligns to your training standards, and we follow the IAED model. And we have a little simulated dispatch center at our college that uses this software, and that's our approach to that sort of thing. One of the really unique things about what we're doing is that we're putting a lot of emphasis on the mental health, the development of resilience, and building survivability within the field of emergency communications. And so, again, a little bit more about my academic background is all of my doctoral work and my research focused really heavily into what happens when you get exposed to trauma. And so as part of our certificate, we really emphasize that stress management, the being able to deal with critical incidents that were so often. And the other thing that we put a lot of attention into is how do we deal with the aftermath of some of the stressful and trauma-inducing calls and situations that we're exposed to. And so at the core, our goal here is to connect with any agencies who are interested in having their trainees get these certificates to first, be able to put that on your resume, your CV, your LinkedIn profile. And hopefully that helps, make a little bit more money for everybody at the back end. But the other thing that we really want to do long term, and this is the space where Jeff and I have spent some time, is we want to be able to develop and host and institute these ongoing training opportunities for anyone in the field of emergency communications, the first responder stuff, with an emphasis on dealing with things in that mental health preparedness and resiliency development realm. And so we've got two really different kind of programs and ideas. We've got the certificate, which, again, we're happy to work with any dispatch center, talk about what your FTO process, your academic process is, align those objectives, and then try to formulate a situation where we can get those certificates to people who graduate from your programs and who complete the FTO piece, so they get that extra piece. But then long term, what we want to do is we want to build and develop programs and training opportunities specifically around that mental health, that resilience, and that just career survivability, and to be able to teach those classes either at CCD or in the virtual space to help make the career longevity of this profession a little bit more significant. Because again, I know looking at the research, it's a very short turnaround time for people who get into this field. It's an incredibly high need field. And we want to support the people who are working in this environment and give them the training, the ability, and the skills to do so successfully and to not deal with a lot of those massive burnouts and to deal with that stuff. So that's really what I wanted to come and talk today about. And I will put my information in the chat, so you can feel free to reach out to me, and I'll have Jeff do the same. But that's really what I want to do, is to introduce myself, to get my information out there, to talk about the certificate program that we offer, and then to start working with you all as experts in this industry and figure out what needs you all have and what we can do from this academic backside piece to help build some of those things that we can help improve the survivability within this career. And Jeff, I know you're on. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that, sir?
I think you covered extremely well, Joe. Just by way of background, well, first and foremost, thank you for the time on the agenda, and I echo Joe's sentiments about the work that you all do. Thank you for that. Just by way of background, my name is Jeff Fitzgerald. I'm Director of Industry Partnerships here at the Community College of Denver for the Center for Workforce Initiatives. My background is in workforce development, economic development at the local, state, and federal levels. And so as Joe is articulating the vision for the certificates and the programs that he's trying to stand up, I am working with Joe as a liaison to businesses and industry, both public and private. So that's my role here, and look forward very much to working with you all and executing on Joe's vision here. Thank you.
And then if it's all right with the group, if anyone had any questions, I'd love to field anything that you had, or anything that I can do to answer anything. It looks like
Jeff Irvin, go ahead.
Yeah, guys, sounds like a great program. I'm an alum of Metro and a product of the criminal justice program there. I was just curious as to whether the credits will be transferable.
So yes, a lot of our credits will be. Now, some of the difficulty with the credits, specifically to the emergency dispatch piece, there's very few other colleges and institutions right now that offer that. So they will accept credits, however, those get pushed into some electives. So what that does is it messes with the timeline to a degree, but all of the base core classes, things like Introduction to Criminal Justice, Stress Management, some of the legal classes, we have statewide transfer agreements that are honored all across the state. And in working with other states, we've had a really high success rate with getting our credits taken over. So again, because we have that IAED background with our dispatch stuff, that translates over really well to a lot of our industry partners, and it makes the crosswalk easier to help get them the certificates. And then if they do want to continue academically, we do have a very high success rate in that area as well. So I hope that answers the question.
It does. Thank you. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Michael Berry, go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for presenting. I know there's a lot of crossover. Have you had any discussions with the Colorado Training Standards Institute about incorporating our minimum training standards into that program?
Yes, sir. So we've actually been working with both DORA and POST. POST more with the law enforcement side right now, but we have been working with Jennifer Kirkland, and I'm not sure if she was on today, but I actually worked with Jennifer in Vail, so I got a chance to work with her again, which has been awesome. But yeah, we are working both with POST and with DORA, just to make sure that all of our programs are not only in line with kind of the minimum standards, but that we're instituting the best practices within this area, and so that we can make this translatable across the entire state of Colorado.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Joe or Jeff? Doesn't look like it. Jennifer usually is on this call. She is not today. Daryl is actually Jennifer. So I'm sure if you've been working with her, she'll be reaching out because I just know this is something she's very interested in.
Yeah, and again, I think the one thing that's really important for us, and one of the reasons why we wanted to be here, was to not only talk about this certificate program, which again, if we're able to go down that road with any of the agencies, we don't charge anything for that certificate. We certify locations and the people who do the training as instructors for us. And then once the students graduate, all that stuff, all the programs at your institution, they do some paperwork on our end and they get that degree. So the cool part about there is that there's no cost. But the other thing to me that I really want to lean into is this emotional survivability, the development of resilience, and how we address and deal with trauma. And so if there's need for that within this space, and there's particular concepts or things that you all would like to see happen that we just don't have training for, reach out to us and let us know. And we can build and figure out how to get those things dispersed, both on our end and then working through places like Dora and Post. So again, feel free to reach out to me at email, give me a call. I still keep cop hours because I can't turn that off. So if you're texting me at 2 or 3 in the morning and I text you back, don't be surprised. But otherwise, like I said, I really appreciate everybody being here and for all the work you do and for giving Jeff and I this short opportunity to talk to you all about it. And otherwise, thank you all very much and have a great rest of your day.
All right, hang on. I think there's one more question. I
One
believe
more
it's
question.
Daryl.
Hi, this is Daryl Branson at the Public Utilities Commission. I work with Jennifer.
Yes, sir.
This isn't so much a question, just as a statement. She's definitely the right one to keep in the loop on this because she facilitates these meetings, but she's also on the board of the Colorado NINA APCO chapter, which has a wellness page on it, which would be a great place to get word out about the certificate program. And she's also heavily involved in the 911 Training Standards Institute, which I know you've been working with. And she's on the board of the Colorado 911 Resource Center, which can help distribute notifications about training opportunities across the state. So definitely keep her in the loop on whatever you're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. Jennifer's been great. And like I said, we appreciate all of the help and the support that we've gotten from the partners that we have been working with so far.
All right, thank you very much. And if you haven't seen it, both Joe and Jeff put their contact information in the chat. So if you want to take that down, you should be able to see it. And Joe and Jeff, thank you so much for coming here and providing that information. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all. Really
Have a great
appreciate it.
day. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, the next presentation we have is from Alyssa Tran with the NG 911 research study. Alyssa,
Good morning.
hi, how are you?
Doing good. Would I be
Good.
able to share my screen with you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Daryl has to give you.
Just a moment and I'll make you co-host.
Okay.
You should have it here in a second.
Here. So, no. All right. Can you guys see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. This is maybe a good talk to or presentation to follow after the last one. So my name's Alyssa Tran. I'm a forensic psychiatrist. I work in Colorado doing a couple different things. Main connection that I have here is that I have a private practice for first responders, police, fire, dispatch, EMS, treating first responders with psychiatric medications, doing evaluations. And as part of that, kind of came across this topic of how next generation 911 technology is evolving, and specifically smartphone video calls to dispatchers kind of being increasingly common and something that agencies are using. So we formed kind of an informal work group of multidisciplinary folks, which I'll explain more in a second. And we started doing some formal research on this topic, specifically regarding how smartphone video calls are impacting dispatchers and call takers and supervisors, how agencies are using that technology, who's trying to get some estimates of who's using it, who's not. So wanted to talk to you guys today to kind of promote and share information about the study and try to get some participation in an IRB approved study. So really, here's kind of an overview of what our work group has been doing and working on. So really, one is trying to understand how the technology is being used, what are the policies around the use, doing background research on like what's already known on this topic, the impact of video exposure, photo exposure for investigators, on traumatic stress, and the psychological impact of the job, looking at what's actually being used, how people are using this technology. And the way we've been trying to do that is through surveys, which I'll share, and also just trying to get multidisciplinary folks involved on the project. And then really our ultimate goal for doing this research is to identify kind of best psychological practices for agencies planning to use, already using the technology, trying to help agencies understand things to take into consideration for their staff, and then also possibly some trainings to help agencies and the individuals using the technology to kind of know how to cope and know how to best approach the use of the technology to protect themselves and kind of shield themselves from any unnecessary exposures. So our group is multidisciplinary. Myself as a forensic psychiatrist, there's psychology members. Dr. Abigail Tucker wanted me to tell you all hi. She's one of the main participants in the group. We have dispatch staff, command staff, supervisors, law enforcement, and we're also working with a couple of technology partners at Rapid SOS and Axon. I think they took over Carbine. So really we're working on research and education. This group is going to be a formal working group under IACP soon, or it just takes a while to get it formalized, but our work group will be meeting at the fall conference. We'll also be doing a talk at IACP in the fall on this topic. So looking forward to that. So really what brought me here today is to kind of talk to you guys about the research opportunities that we have and maybe ways that you could help or participate. So, why does this research matter? The individuals behind the technology, really is important to take into consideration. A lot of times, things evolve and the people actually affected, it may not be taken into account, especially the psychological effects. So we're really trying to stay ahead of this, educate agencies, educate individuals on best practices here. This has historically been an under-researched group of individuals. And so we want to make sure to kind of focus on this group and, note that it's important to consider them as well. There's obviously a profound potential psychological impact of increased video exposure, smartphone video calls, etc. There's so many ways that video technology is evolving in this field, and including drones and others. And so this research is really going to support frontline personnel using the technology. So there's a couple of ways to participate, which I'll explain. One is going to be for individuals, one individual at each agency to kind of just say like, hey, here's what we're using, here's what it looks like at our place. And then we're also seeking agency sites to do the formal research study. It's completely voluntary. It'll be anonymous for the dispatchers and call takers. So the first survey, which I'll kind of post the two links in a couple of slides. So the first survey, again, is just asking each agency to one person at each agency to fill it out to say, this is the status of the technology. These are the types of next gen 911 technology that we're using. We are already using smartphone video calls, and then kind of answering some questions about that. It's a pretty quick survey, takes about 5 to 7 minutes. It's done on SurveyMonkey. And then the other ask here, and I think the kind of the bigger ask, is that we really need to find sites who are using smartphone video calls or planning to use smartphone video calls in the coming months. So these will, be like, we'll work with the individual agency. They'll kind of go through me to kind of review like the IRB, consent forms and protocols. And then once the site and the command staff kind of approve participation in the survey, then we'll send out a survey link to the entire group of dispatchers, call takers, and supervisors. They'll answer those surveys anonymously. And then depending on where the agency is at in kind of the rollout of the technology, if they know the smartphone video calls are coming, like say within the next 6 months, then we do the initial survey that kind of looks at like, how are things going now? How do people feel about the technology? We're using evidence-based like quality of life and burnout measures. And then so they'll fill it out before the technology starts being used. And then the system will send people a link 6 months later and then 12 months later if they're kind of still around. So we're kind of looking at like before technology is being used and then after, like how do things change? How are people doing? Are there any new concerns about trauma exposure and burnout and well-being that show up after technology is being used? The other way is kind of more realistic, is that people are already using the technology. And so we would just be sending the survey out one time after they've been using the technology for about 6 months to kind of see what the perception is from the dispatcher side, call taker side, how that's going and how that group is doing. So it's a different process. There's a different setup. There's a little bit more kind of involved at the agency level. I will say we are doing this with Douglas County Sheriff. Dan Bright is on our work group and he's been excellent. He's been trying really hard to get participation in the survey because they're planning to roll out video calls this year. And it is hard to get participation from the dispatchers and call takers. I think they have 40 people, and after Dan kind of harping on them, we got like 10 responses. So I think that part has been hard to engage the staff. But I'm hoping that, we can kind of loop that group in again, get some more responses, and then add some additional sites for the survey. So these are again the two things I talked about. So the first link on the left is if your agency hasn't already done this, a lot of people have. So you can scan this QR code, fill out the SurveyMonkey, kind of what's going on at your site. And then on the right-hand side, that QR code will prompt an email to me if you are interested in participating as a site that this technology is coming or you're already using it and you're willing to have your staff participate. And I'll leave this up here. I think that was my last slide. I'm happy to answer any questions. If people want to chat offline or email me, I'm very happy to answer questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Alyssa? Nate, go ahead.
Sorry. Could you put your email back up? Sorry, I was trying to get it, and then I looked on the other link, and it just shows the general.
Oh,
Yeah, or if you want to put it in the chat, that would be
yes, I can do
great.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The QR code on the right will go to my email, but I will definitely put it in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Alyssa?
No, not a question.
Oh,
Sorry, not a question, but I like this. This is quite interesting, and I'm glad to see you're doing it.
Thank you.
thanks, Matt. Daryl.
Do you have any indication as to what the reluctance, where the reluctance is coming from on people filling out the survey?
No, Dan has been working really hard, and I think people just don't like surveys, and they don't, or they may see it and just forget about it. So yeah, I don't know exactly why. I think it's just hard to get survey responses in general, but this is really important. The questions are really personal to the dispatchers. It's really looking at their individual experience and impact on them, and it's a validated measure. So I think it has the potential to yield really useful results and research and kind of guiding agencies. But yeah, it's been hard.
Are the surveys anonymous?
Yes, they are anonymous. The only thing is they will enter their email address so that they can get the link after the 6-month time period if it's an agency where it's pre-implementation. If it's after implementation, they will not use their email, and the email is stored separately from the results. So it is anonymous, but to an extent, because they have to get that next survey.
Sure. Thank you.
Deanie, go ahead.
Hi, Dean Shin. And I would just like to encourage other agencies to definitely try to get some of your people involved. This can be very worthwhile. I actually happen to know Dr. Tran from a long time ago, and I highly recommend that we try to do this. I do think that the survey and trying to get people to do surveys, I agree with her, is very difficult. People aren't always willing to do that, or sometimes they're just not willing to talk about their feelings, and they don't trust that things are truly anonymous. And I just, from hearing other people say things like that, that is the thing, one of the things that I have heard from others, and they're concerned about their future, where that information goes, all of that type of stuff. So there may be some reluctancy there. That may be one reason. Again, I just want to encourage people to do it. The only way we're going to make changes and get the information and the resources that we need to help people through these new technology challenges is to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and do this. So
Thank you, Deanie. Yeah, that's a good point about being anonymous. If an agency is concerned about that, or if we get enough feedback that having the email address is kind of turning people off, we can remove that and just send the survey kind of again at 6 months. It's just nice to kind of tie the person's responses to compare like before and after, but I'd rather have people participating than not. So yeah, thank you for those comments.
Yeah, and this is Jackie. I agree with Deanie. A lot of people participate, but we do have a history of people being fired for PTSD and things like that in the state of Colorado. And so I think that whatever you can do to make them feel more comfortable to fill out the surveys, I think is paramount. Because, history takes a long time to change.
Thanks,
agree,
Jackie.
Jackie. Yes, I'm sorry, I just butted right in, but I agree completely on that statement. I've also seen that happen before throughout the state, and I can't say that enough. Although we want to be, we as a industry want to be understanding about these circumstances. Not every agency is on board with all that. And I'm not speaking about Douglas County, so please don't take it that way. Douglas County honestly has been amazing for me personally. But I have seen it happen at other agencies, and but I've also seen things changing, and I hope that and am encouraged that this will continue. My just one suggestion: is there any possibility of having some kind of, I don't know, maybe an NDA for people, and they could use their personal email, just so you can have that consistency, Dr. Tran. And I understand the need to, get somebody, get an agency from the beginning before they take on videos, calls, to implementing it and then seeing 6 months down the road. I totally see the value in all of that. Anyway, just a possibility of something to research, see if it could work.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Deanie. Connie, you are next.
I just wanted to echo the appreciation to Dr. Tran, and I'm hoping that, and it was my hope that you presenting here to this group gets that message out, and especially this kind of conversation that we're having, and echoing to what everybody else has said, it is worthwhile, and whatever we can do to get people to participate would be a betterment for our industry. Thanks.
Thank you, Connie.
Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Tran, I was just wondering if there's been any thought given to you or your your staff participating in debriefings in agencies where there's been a critical incident.
Sorry, I think I missed the comment, Jeff. Would you mind repeating it?
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's any mechanism where you or your staff can participate into debriefings where there's been a critical incident and exposure to this type of video or audio trauma.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we are definitely willing to do that. Especially, I know Abigail has been working with this group a long time, and I think the whole purpose of this research and the questions that we're asking is really to kind of normalize that there are psychological impacts to everyone being exposed to this, and we have to be really careful about that exposure. And so I think there's an opportunity to develop best psychological practices that's a pre-exposure, and then yes, post-critical incident, if there's a call that involves this. I think that makes complete sense to have a kind of a response prepared, and kind of know that this is a little bit different than the typical audio only critical incidents. And so yeah, we're happy to be available for that, especially as I think at the moment we're trying to kind of gather the research, build the best practices, kind of build some recommended like policies and a resource document through IACP. But once those pieces are done, yeah, we would be very happy to provide those types of assistance.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alyssa. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alyssa, for being here and providing that information. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone listening, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is the standing reports. Again, a written version of these reports is found in the meeting materials folder. So we don't go through each report, but I do go through each one and ask if there's any update. And Daryl, are you given the PUC update?
Yes, I can. What I'll say is Jennifer wrote a very well-written summary here of what's happening at the PUC, as well as surcharge collections. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to try to answer those. Um, I'm sure that the vast majority of you are very well aware, if not intimately involved, in the BES improvement plan application proceeding. But for those who aren't and would like to follow along, the proceeding number is there. It's 26A-0140T. I'll also let you know that there is a rulemaking coming out very shortly. It was just approved by the notice of proposed rulemaking was approved by the commission yesterday. It does not have any impact on 911, but I wanted to let you know about it because I know a lot of you follow PUC proceedings very closely. It's related to the Colorado no call list. So you are, of course, welcome to participate in that if you'd like to, but it has no impact on 911. It's all about the no call list and the fees that telemarketing companies pay to get access to the list. And with that, I would be happy to try to answer any questions anyone has, or I may ask you to wait until Jennifer comes back.
Jeff.
Carol, any gut feeling for what the cap may move to this year?
The cap on the telemarketing fees?
No, the ETC rate cap.
Oh, no, it's too early for that. Jennifer will be putting together a opening decision to open the proceeding by the end of this month. And we'll be doing calculations to find out what that the new ETC cap will be based on inflation. Again, the commission can take other things into account, but traditionally it has just adjusted it for inflation.
All right. Any other questions for Daryl?
And Jeff, I will say, if you want to take your own stab at guessing at what the cap will be, if it's only adjusted for inflation, we always use the May inflation numbers for consistency. We use the May inflation numbers. So if you look those up for May, you can probably calculate for yourself what it'll be.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. Next, we have the basic emergency service provider, Lumen. Any update, Jeff? Would that be you?
I'm here, and this is Tressa.
Oh, sorry, Tressa.
No worries. I had serious internet issues this morning, and so I just jumped on the presentation part. No, we don't have any updates today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And who do we have from Intrado?
Hey, good morning. Ryan Segersees on.
Hi. Do you have an update? Any
We do not
update?
have no update today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bylaws Committee, Kimberly Culp.
No changes on the bylaws.
Thank you very much, Kimberly. Jackie Louise, Legislative Committee.
Good morning. Thanks for your patience. I did not fill out a written report. We have been taking a summer break. We will meet again in August. However, I did have some information on a bill that passed late in the session. That's House Bill 261392 about the digital trunked radio funding. And I don't exactly understand everything because it was a change in where is it 24-33.5-2502 Office of Public Safety Communications Revolving Fund creation. I don't know when that fund was created, but the bill actually allows for leftover money, or what they call it, to help pay for maintenance and equipment for DTRS. And maybe somebody on the radio side understands this better than I do. But I just wanted to bring that up and let people know that the state has taken a bit of action towards funding the digital trunked radio.
Thank you, Jackie. Any questions? Okay.
Isn't
Oh.
that, sorry, isn't that,
That's okay.
Isn't that so those funds are retained for the next year and not just rolled back into the general fund?
Yes, I believe that's what it's addressing.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Anything else for Jackie? All right. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate it. Next, 988 report. Nate?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get PSAPs to use the service. Like Alyssa was kind of saying, it's a big picture thing, and some of the mindsets are kind of hard to change, which I understand. But I've had to sort of switch gears and to make it a little more rudimentary, to at least convincing PSAPs to at least update their transfer number. If somebody at the most basic, if they called 911 and said, can you transfer me to 988, just to have that updated number, which is most appropriate to get somebody through. And then obviously the bigger term goals of using the service more, and then having 988. Our big vision is to have 988 to be the front door to all mental health services in Colorado, and to have our vendor Solari to have access to more things so that when somebody does call, they can get the appropriate help, and they can look into the records and see how they can benefit them the most. But I always have to remember this is a new thing, so we're just getting started. Yeah, I appreciate what everybody does.
All right. Thank you, Nate. Next, it looks like Equal Access Committee. I don't see Sadie on. So I'll move forward. Carl Stevens, Outage Committee.
Daryl does most of the work. I don't know if he has anything. I know since the last task force meeting, we've had 4 outages, and they could be followed on that list.
Yeah, this is Daryl. I'll just point out that there is a link here that goes to a page that has a spreadsheet that shows all of the active and completed outage investigations. We've got 7 current outage active investigations. The reason why that's so high is partly because I'm not closing them anymore until I get confirmation that billing credits have been applied to the PSAP's accounts, if billing credits are due. And in a couple of cases, we're holding them open for the completion of action items. But you can always follow these here. And if you want to be part of those outage investigation meetings that we have in connection with these investigations, and you're not getting the emails, that means you're not on the email list for the outage committee. If you would like to be on the email list for the outage committee, please let myself or Jennifer know, and we can get you on there.
Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate that. Next, Colorado Public Safety Broadband. I don't see Kristen on. So I'll move on. Jackie, you're up again. Prepaid and Collections Committee.
Again, I didn't do a written report, but we haven't met. We will probably set a meeting after the PUC comes out with their rate, just to discuss whatever needs to be discussed there.
All right. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you all.
EZNet Users Group, Steve.
Good morning, Kathy and everybody. Aside from what's been documented here, I just wanted to bring up that a small planning group has put together a series of informational sessions to invite NG 911 core service providers to come in and present their services. We're going to kick that off in August, and myself and Jennifer are coordinating the logistics of who's presenting when. It's not a formal process by any means, but it's part of our long-term strategy discussion and discovery process to find out what other services are out there that are being used. This is a follow-up from the panel discussions that we facilitated and Daryl assisted earlier this year with other states to learn about how they purchase 911 and BESP and next-gen services. And this is our next step in the discovery to learn more and make sure that we're having due diligence with all the services that we provide our community. Other than that, that's all I've got for today.
All right. Thank you, Steve. certainly exciting. I look forward to seeing those demos and talking to those individual providers. Matt, GIS committee.
Nothing to add. Thanks.
Okay. Deanie, PSCS.
We have our meeting at 1 o'clock this afternoon, so nothing to add now.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to check the names as I'm going to see if everybody's in here. I don't think Amanda is on. Nope. Connie, Division of Fire Prevention. Any update?
No, I don't have an update.
All right, thank you. 911 Resource Center.
And don't have an update, just what's there.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. I don't see Karen on from Rapid or Troy. Nope. Okay. Is CJ on? CJ Bales? Nope. Kimberly, CCOA.
Hey everyone. So from a CCOA perspective, again, we had a great lobby team that worked with us last year. I anticipate additional legislative initiatives this next year that we will be guarding 911 and making sure our lobby team is down there and ensuring that 911 and 911 funds are protected. So again, please consider joining the CCOA, put that on your radar. We also intervened in that second improvement plan. So we've been working on negotiations discussions regarding that plan and doing a lot of good work in that area as well. So if you have any questions about the CCOA, please don't hesitate to reach out. A new project we're going to be looking at is the emergency alert systems. And I think everyone's aware of the Code Red situation where that system was compromised and offline. Everbridge also had a situation on June 26th and they were offline and not available for hours, not days, thankfully. However, that does bring to everyone's minds about what kind of redundancy do you have in your emergency alert system. So the CCOA is going to be tackling that over the next several months. So again, if you have any questions about the CCOA and what work we're doing, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you, Kimberly. And Michael, 911 Services Enterprise Board.
Good morning. Nothing additional to add.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for all those reports and working on all that very important stuff that we need to work on for 911. Going into old business, CenturyLink. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just remembered a couple of other PUC news items that may be of interest to the task force members. One is that there were a couple of changes from the PUC sunset bill that are not telecom specific but administrative. One is that the PUC will be required to start holding in-person weekly meetings again. We will be doing that starting, I think, August 12th was the first date. Yes, August 12th. So starting August 12th, we'll be doing our weekly meetings in person again. They will still be webcast. And if you want to make public comments at a weekly meeting, you'll still be able to do that remotely if you wish to. But I wanted to let people know that those will be held in person again. Additionally, the other thing was that the statute now requires that proceedings that are contested, in other words, adjudicated, which is the word that the statute uses without defining what that means, all adjudicated proceedings will have to go to an ALJ first instead of going to the commission first and then be referred to an ALJ. I don't know that that's going to have a huge difference practically to how proceedings flow through the commission, but it will make a difference in how they are displayed and what the recommendations are on the commissioner weekly meeting agenda. So if you see any weird language on there about the commissioner retaining a proceeding as opposed to letting it go to an ALJ, which will be the new default flow of the proceedings. Just if you have any questions about that, just feel free to reach out to me and I'll see if I can get an answer for you. We're trying to figure it out as we go through it as well.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that. Okay, for old business, we've got the CenturyLink customer service issues and issues tracker. Jeff, are you still on?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can. Go right ahead.
Thank you. As far as the tracker is concerned, I'm going to be meeting with Tracy Dillo on Monday when I get back home, and going over the report that was given on yesterday's call for the as an user group. We're putting together what we think is going to be best for the portal that Tracy and Cindy Berry have been working on. The challenge there, for those that weren't on the as a user call yesterday, the challenge that we're having for outside access to a SharePoint site is the fact that there are so many different email addresses. Typically in this scenario, we have 1 or 2 domains, but in this case, there's quite a few more than that. So Tracy and Cindy are working through that. So once we get that ironed out and access is granted, and I think Tracy has some people that actually wanted to volunteer for that, we'll be able to move forward with it. But Tracy and I are going to work specifically on Monday to come up with a few items that we're going to be putting on there, and we'll be able to share that. I noticed on the agenda also, as far as it's not necessarily old business, like it wouldn't be new, but as an update, Jim Carlson retired as of last Thursday. It was a quick announcement, so he is no longer my direct report. I have a new chain of leadership, and I will be sending out, as soon as I get the rest of the details as far as contact information, I'll send that out and get that over to Jennifer so she can update the website. Excuse me. But the only other additional information that I think indirectly ties in with the customer service piece of this is, I know a request has come out multiple times as far as having just one number to call when trying to reach out to us, as far as issues that potentially go beyond your 911 service. So in the case of a PSAP that's got issues with their administrative lines, and it turns out it's either on a PRI or their POTS lines, we now, on our 800-357-0911 number, I was told yesterday that there is an option for other services beyond 911. So at this point right now, there is a one number source to be able to call to open up trouble tickets. And at that point, that's all the other information I have, unless there's any questions.
That is good to know, Jeff, especially about the non-emergency lines, because I'm sure, as you know, I've had a couple of agencies that have had some issues, over the past month or so. So I'll make sure that that gets shared, with the agencies in my authority as well, so that we know that.
I was surprised and very pleased.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody have any questions for Jeff? Okay. We still have the new routing options, CenturyLink and Intrado. Jeff, is that you or somebody from Intrado?
When you say the new routing options as far as the volume-based routing?
That's what I'm assuming this is, yes.
So I don't know that we have anything additional. I can't speak really intelligently, but I know there are options in there, and I know Jennifer did an amazing job going out regionally and talking with the PSAPs. We have the ability to designate not just one PSAP as far as the rollover is concerned. So in the case of a volume-based outage, or if you have all of your sessions are busied, you can designate several different locations to have calls go to. And it doesn't necessarily go in a round robin, but it does balance out to make it fair and balanced as far as the call transfers are concerned. So I don't know if there's additional on that, but I know Rich Johnson has talked to that quite a bit too.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I don't see any hands up, so it doesn't sound like there's any questions about that, Jeff.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. On to new business. Daryl, it looks like all three are for you, so I will let you go ahead with it.
Thanks. Jennifer asked me to, we just briefly discussed this, so I'm not exactly sure what her message was, but I believe the message was just to remind everybody of the importance of the NINA PSAP registry, which is called the EPRC. It's the Enhanced PSAP Registry and Census. That's what the last C stands for. So EPRC. It's really important to keep your data up to date in that, because there are companies out there that are using that to contact PSAPs if they have an emergency call that they need to relay by non-emergency line. And they use that to figure out which number they need to call. So I wanted to remind everybody to keep that information up to date. The second item I have on here is NINA International Calls White Paper. NINA published a white paper recently. This was really prompted by the US being one of the three hosts for and the primary host for the World Cup. We aren't hosting any World Cup games in Colorado, but we all know that we get international visitors every year here. It's a big international destination for visiting our national parks and other attractions. And there were a lot of things that came out when they started looking into this specifically for the World Cup that I don't think that people were really aware of. If somebody with an international calling plan from another country, especially from Europe, calls 911 while they're in the US, the call should go through, but you may not be able to call them back if your PSAP does not have an international calling plan, in case you get disconnected. So that's just one example of things that I think not every PSAP may necessarily be aware of. So I'm going to put the link in the chat, and I would really encourage everybody to take a look at that white paper that NINA published. And if you have any questions or concerns, this could be a good topic for a future task force meeting to dive into a little bit more deeply, I think. Before I go on, does anybody have anything on those two items that they want to discuss? Any comments or any experiences that you've had at your PSAPs with difficulty with international callers? Okay, and then the last item is a study that Jennifer and I will be doing through IAED. We're going to be doing a research study on 911 personnel retention. What we're going to be looking at is PSAPs that have had stable retention for at least 6 months, and we're going to be comparing what those PSAPs do on a number of different factors that may be contributing to job satisfaction and positive retention. If that describes your PSAP, if you've had a PSAP that has had stable retention and being fully staffed for at least 6 months, we are interested in talking to you and doing an interview to try to identify those factors that may be in common among PSAPs that are successfully retaining their employees. We will be sending out a survey in the near future asking PSAPs to identify themselves as being in that category so that we can schedule interviews to do more follow-up and a qualitative study with you. So I just want to let you know that that is coming. And if you'd like to go ahead and get on that list, if you've had stable retention for at least 6 months, reach out to Jennifer or myself and we can get you on that list. But otherwise, we'll be sending out a survey, not just in Colorado, but nationally, to identify PSAPs that would be good candidates for the follow-up portion of that. Kimberly, go ahead.
Is this an APCO NINA NASNA type of study that you guys are doing? I'm just trying to understand how, from a PUC perspective, studying retention, how that aligns.
Yeah, this is not a PUC. This is not a PUC thing. We're doing this through the International Academies of Emergency Dispatch, and we have been approved for the study through their IRB board.
But it's gonna be PUC staff working with IAED for the study?
It's us as PUC staff, but we're doing it voluntarily through IAED. It is not officially a PUC study.
Okay.
It is an IAED study, if that helps. Any other questions or comments? Thank you.
Jackie,
Yeah.
go ahead. Oh,
We at the end of our agenda?
just about.
Okay, I just wanted to everybody to wish Matt a happy birthday.
Should we sing?
We could.
Happy birthday, Matt. I
Thanks,
saw
everybody.
that on Facebook. So
I'm becoming more seasoned.
yep. It's another trip around the sun.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for reminding us, Jackie. Appreciate that.
Apparently we have reactions turned off on here, but Matt, just imagine me doing fireworks through an emoji.
Yeah.
Me
Right
too,
on,
Matt. I was
thanks.
going to send you some fireworks, but just imagine that they're on the screen.
No sparks, please. We've had
Yeah.
Virtual fireworks only.
Right on.
Yep. All right. Before we adjourn, I'm just going to go through the future meetings. July 16th, Lunch and Learn. Maureen Gibson is with, I think, with the FBI. And this was a class that was given at the state conference this year, which was people, it was highly attended and a lot of people liked it. And so the request was for a longer version. And so she is going to do that on July 16th. Just note though that due to confidentiality, it will not be recorded. Then on August 13th, Lunch and Learn, VPI CGIS Assist. August 20th, Lunch and Learn with Hyper. September 10th, the task force meeting, hopefully in person. And that's going to be at AdCom in Commerce City. So other than that, it looks like I'm going to give everybody some time back. And I don't see anything else, or if there's anything else for the good of the order, I open that up for right now. Nobody raised a hand, so I will go ahead and call this meeting adjourned at 11:10. Thank you everybody for joining. And again, Matt, happy birthday.
Right on. Take care,
Okay.
everyone.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.